Alright, number one, I never script anything I say. I'm always I just talk and say what I feel, what I see, and basically my channel is about learning about all the small details in my videos. I look for stuff like this with this crab trap buoy out there, and you see that the water is not very rough, but even with that small little roughness part of that little crab trap buoy, the lower hull, if you will, if that was a boat, the lower hull would be being blocked off by those small waves. Now, I've got my camera fairly low to the water, and if you look in the background, the bird or the duck is about ready to fall off what the Glovers will say is the beginning of the curve. But again, my channel is about learning about details, the causes, the effects, and what's going on. Now, sometimes, some of the other flat earthers will call me a shill. The Glovers call me, a stupid flat tard. And, I've been called every name in the book, even by, family members, friends, only because I'm not going along with the rest of the belief system that we have all been taught. So these little details like the birds in the background, stuff like this, every time I watch one of my videos, I see more details in them, and I try to bring them out. Now, other big channels, they don't, they probably don't support me. There's a few that might use a little bit of my footage, but people don't like my style. I don't cherry pick my work, and I have my reasons for it. These are really my own personal observations, people. I really, when I started this out, I really never intended to share them with people, but I started sharing them because I was seeing things that, when when I first started out, my first video that I ever did, I said, oh shit, here's curvature. I'm going to debunk flat earth and, show them what, where the curve is and everything. I mean, look at that. Again, I watch these details, so, and a lot of people will cherry pick the crap out of their videos and pick what best describes things for them, or, shows them that the earth is flat. Now, I'm not disagreeing that the earth is flat, but I'm saying that there's a lot of optical illusions out there that create the curve, this curve effect that makes you think that you're, maybe living on a ball. And the sunset is always one of the biggest things. And, I show that, basically the sunset is the grand illusion. And again, I'm not scripting. I don't script. I recently was kind of bugged to give a way so some people that liked my work could donate to me, and I was very reluctant to put up um, a way for people to donate to my channel, only because I didn't want to be called a shill because I'm collecting money for my work. But if people are willing to donate because they like what I do, and they see what I see, and they are understanding what I understand, um, then why should I not accept it? So I did put a PayPal account up um, on my work in the description that most people don't even read, so they have no idea that I put up a PayPal account for donations. And I'm not asking people to give me money for free. I don't want money for free to live off of. Any money that I collect will go to, well, first of all, I want to start off with getting an infrared camera, because I'd like to bring a little better, um, you know, observations on the table, and see if this infrared camera can really help out with some of the things that I see, I notice, and I'm all about the details. I'm not out. I'm not about cherry picking stuff. But I want to thank DMT Matrix, Lightning Dog, and Buzz Dev, and Jesse Hahn for their very generous donations to my channel. Just out of those four people, I got $217. It should have been a little bit more, but they're taking money out for taxes apparently. And I thought I could get around that with having you look in the details in the PayPal account for not donating it as a donation gift to a friend, but apparently they're still taking it out. Now, you know, again, I'm not out to prove shit to anybody. You know, this was not my goal. My goal was to learn from my observations and learn about these causes, these effects that I saw and I see in all my videos. Now, on this particular day, you know, I was getting a lot of mirroring. The day before this, I was obviously catching everything at the same height. And this is one of the things that I pay attention to. And I have started documenting some of my, you know, the information that people want, like the height of my camera, my location, and whatnot, which I wasn't doing in the past because I was doing it for me, and I know where I'm standing at, and I didn't really think it was important to tell people all this other information because, again, my observations were for myself, and I really was not intending to share them with people. But, you know, I thought it was important, especially when I was watching some of the other flat earth channels, you know, when their observations match my observations, you know, there's something in common. Plus, you know, you see difference in visibility from one day to the next. I mean, one day I could have beautiful, clear observations, visibility, and see stuff, you know, way out there that on a globe model I should not see. And take this for instance, you saw that light just above the water just before I went toward the sun. That is that light diffraction, the mirroring edge, and like I say in a lot of my videos, it just seems like you cannot escape that mirroring effect no matter where that visible water line is. That mirroring line is always above the visible water, whether that visible water is up close or whether that visible water is way off in the distance. In other words, I filmed this, the halfway marker to the Bayport bird rack, and I filmed it from different heights, and I'm not talking major heights, like I might be right at the edge of the water, and then I might be standing on the seawall over at the Bayport fishing pier part, and I'm up on a seawall, and I'm up 5 feet, and the tide's way out, and I filmed this halfway marker, and sometimes that halfway marker is above the water line, the visible water line, even on a low tide, and it's floating in the air. But then I've filmed it where I was down real low to the water, and there's no mirroring, and you can obviously see not only that bird rack, but water well beyond that bird rack. Same way here with the Bayport bird rack. You know, right now, my visibility is almost right at that Bayport bird rack. Anything past it is in the mirroring zone, or what I like to call the mirror zone. And it is being mirrored. And that mirror is, like I was showing before in one of my other videos, that is like a concave convex lens. Now, people misunderstand that, and, you know, they think, oh, well, you know, you got this mirror and it's showing you over the curve. No, it's not. It's everything above is what's visible. And on a good visibility day, say that there is land beyond that normally you can't see because it is so small that either the waves are blocking it out because of its, it's just so small, you can't resolve it because it's that far away, even with a zoom camera. And then if you have this day where you can actually see it, but you have a little bit of um, fairly good visibility, um, that concave convex mirror will pull that up and stretch it up for you. And I don't mean that you're seeing below the curvature of Earth. I'm saying it's taking what's visible within my line of sight and stretching it up to where you can see it a little bit better. And it is usually always distorted. I mean, there's no doubt that that is usually distorted. But if you have a good day of visibility, um, you could see for miles and miles and miles. All right, the other day I was listening to the news, and they were talking about how offshore, the waves would be 2 to 4 feet. But if you're onshore, you get this little ripply wave like this. You could have wind block from the land around you, depending on which way the wind's blowing. So that water that's sitting right in front of you could be calm and smooth. But the farther you go out, the worse the waves get. So if you have a boat that's within the mirroring zone and there is, 2 to 4 foot waves, come on, people. It is going to block out the lower halves of anything that's out there. Period. Plain and simple. It's a lot of this stuff is hard to explain because, like I was saying, it's multiple effects under certain conditions. You're getting, sometimes you're getting the mirroring, sometimes you are not at different distances. Like I could go out there one day and I got 5 mile visibility. Okay, so I could see boats on the water 5 miles away, perfectly out there sitting on the water with nothing blocking them out. Yes, you might even see some of the waves lapping up at the edge of the boat and blocking out a little bit of the boat. Now, anything that goes beyond that and gets out there in rougher water, well, those waves are going to block out more of it. And if it's in the mirror zone, just like on my concave convex mirror, things can actually just disappear within its own reflection. And that's something that, hey, look, the Globe Believers' jobs or the trolls' jobs are to deter people from coming to your channel and investigating it themselves. The other thing is they're not out there to agree with you on anything. They're going to deny anything that we put out simply because that's their job. So they're never going to agree with it. And even if they're an average person, they're going to go along with what the mainstream science says about refraction, this and that. And they're going to say, this is why, and I'm trying to show people with details, and this is why I'm not going to change my style. I'm going to continue on because I'm not going to cherry pick the shit out of my videos just to please the flat earth community because they don't want to watch and learn from, watching long observations and picking up on all those little details. And I'm not going to change it to suit a glober either, and I'm not going to agree with what a glober might say. But there is some things that, we can all agree on. And that's what's strange. We can agree on some things and not on others. All right, well, that's to tell you a little bit about myself and why I do these observations. All right, thanks and have a good day.